hypocrisy. I love freedom, and I just like Muslims. At least I'm honest.
You love freedom, Muslim. Come to me.
Yeah. Come to you.
I will show you how to enjoy your art and your freedom.
No, but it's my friend, let's be honest.
Be honest.
I mean, we can laugh and joke about this, but imagine being an Afghan villager, an ordinary Afghan peasant, someone who has, or a Pakistani villager, and you have these bombs raining down on you, and no one is held responsible. No one is accountable. It's not defined. Hold on, sir. It's not defined. It's not defined as a terrorist attack. America sends its drone aircraft. They bomb a village, killing 30-odd civilians, and then they say, "Sorry, it was a mistake."
It was a mistake, Ishmael.
Whoopsie-daisy.
But 9/11 was
Hold on.
I knew you were someone say sorry. It was
very often.
We just blew into town.
Very often, they don't even admit it was a mistake. Very often.
They always do, Ishmael.
Very often.
They always do.
Tyler, you don't shout over everyone else.
I'm sorry, Ishmael.
I'm saying to you, you look at what it is on the ground. And we have these bombings in Afghanistan, in Pakistan. Very often, the Americans don't admit it's a mistake straight away. Allow me to finish. The Americans always say, "We're not sure. There were Taliban in the area. We are investigating." Hold on, sir. Hold on, Tyler. The problem is this. We have sometimes 2 or 3 drone attacks that go wrong every week. And every time they tell us we're investigating. The reason why they tell you they're investigating is because they never once give you the update of their investigation. It's always an ongoing investigation.
Go to ISA webpage.
I can't. Oh, go to the ISA webpage. Who the fuck's gonna go to the ISA webpage? Who the hell's gonna go to the ISA? Who the hell? Who the hell is gonna go to the ISA webpage?
If you want the truth, you go there, Ishmael.
Tyler, the general public are so consumed with friends, Fraser, Sex and the City, and all of this bullshit that they're not going to visit some website to find out the outcome of an American investigation into who's been killed. The Americans, the West, they get away with killing people. Could you imagine if someone dropped a missile that went wrong in the UK, killing a farmer and his wife and some more people? Could you imagine them just saying, "Whoops, we're sorry about that. It was an accident." You have an American CIA agent in Pakistan, jumps out of his car and shoots dead 2 Pakistanis, and he's now free.
I was there. It was you. I was there.
He wasn't a CIA agent.
A contractor.
A contractor. It's already been exposed that he was the head of the CIA bloody agent.
Killing contractor.
You come here to justify the independence. Tyler, it's funny.
I'm a freedom-loving Nigerian.
From the comfort of our homes here, no one here is really terrified of terrorism.
I am.
I'm sure you are, yes.
I am.
No one's really thinking, standing here in a crowd, a bomb's going to go off. No one's thinking, okay, well,
there's so many Muslims here, Ishmael. I mean, come on. Look around.
You are the biggest one.
Do you trust them?
Tyler,
Do you trust the Muslims? No, honestly.
Tyler, let me ask the question.
No, you don't trust them.
Let me ask the question. Let me ask the question. Is anyone here standing here fearful that a bomb might go off at any minute? I said anyone, not nobody. You're nobody. You. Yes. My friend, look, imagine when people travel to Oxford Street or a crowded marketplace, they're not concerned about terrorism. The real people who are concerned about terrorism, well, it's not us Westerners. It's people in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pakistan, Libya now. These are the people who are really fearful of terrorism. But you in the West, you always love to portray yourselves as the victims. You're the victims here. You're not the victims. The victims are in Iraq.
The history, Ishmael.
The victims are in Pakistan. The victims are in Palestine.
9/11, Ishmael. That's history. Madrid.
He talks about 2005. He talks about incidents 6 years ago when the Pakistanis, the Afghans, the Iraqis are talking about incidents that happened last night.
Let's ignore that, Ishmael.
They're talking about what happened yesterday, but you're talking about what happened 6 years ago, and you're the victims.
We are.
My friend, you have no right. The British have no right to be in Afghanistan. Afghanistan. They have no right to be in Iraq. They have no right to be in Pakistan. They have no right to be in Libya. And when the people strike back, when the people strike back, you call yourselves victims.
It's right.
That's the reality.
I would love to take him to Pakistan.
Yeah.
And I'll pay his ticket.
I don't like chapati. I would like to see him.
Only one
I don't
way.
like chapati.
Only one way.
I like fucking fufu.
I want to see him
in Pakistan.
I would like to see him in Iraq.
To do what? To do what?
I want to see NigerianHostage.com.
No one wants a black man for an hostage.
Yes.
Not you.
You'll have 22 hits. And that'll be mostly from the Foreign Office. My friend, Taiwo, it is disturbing our apathy that we justify Western terrorism. But when it comes back to bite in the ass here, you guys in the West, you've experienced nothing really. Nothing. In fact, Britain has got off lightly. Lightly. Britain has got off lightly for its acts of terrorism abroad. It has no right to be in Iraq, no right to be in Pakistan, no right to be in Afghanistan, and no right to be in Libya.
What do you know? Is something coming up?
Britain supports the British, the French, they support an armed rebel faction in Libya. How would they like it if Libya begins to support the breakaway faction of the IRA, the real IRA? How would they like it?
Wouldn't be the first
if they begin to support rebel factions here. My friend, we look at Libya and we see how the country's fractured. In fact, you go back to Libya in 1911 and way back then, there's always been these two Libyas with almost two capitals, Tripoli and Benghazi. There's always been this undercurrent. Likewise, here in England, the United Kingdom, you have the Scots who would like to be independent. You have the Welsh who want their independence. You have the Irish who want their independence. Now imagine what would happen here if a foreign government began supporting and arming and training Scottish separatists, Welsh separatists, giving them the training to fight against this country. Would that be just? Would that be fair?
That wouldn't happen.
It wouldn't happen, no.
Right?
Because that's your problem. Here in the West, they always assume that can't happen here to us. But you go abroad exporting terrorism.
No.
America went to Iraq.
Exporting freedom, Ishmael. Trying to liberate.
Is that what you call Iraq? Where over 1 million people lost their lives? A million people lose it. A million Iraqis lose their lives. And he calls it freedom.
A democracy in the waiting.
Look at Iraq today.
Yeah.
Fuck.
A democracy in the waiting, Ishmael.
A democracy in the waiting.
And inshallah, Afghanistan will be the same.
Oh, you hate the Muslims. What do you say, inshallah?
I don't know why I say inshallah. I don't know, my friend.
Don't say it then. Don't say it.
I think God willing.
Yes.
If foreigners invaded Britain,
Ishmael, listen. Foreigners will not invade Britain.
They have already. Look around you.
Yeah, the Muslims, right?
Hey guys, the silent revolution.
Yeah. I mean,
Taiwo, if a foreign military invaded Britain, would the British have the right to defend themselves?
yes, you would pick up a gun and so would I.
Of course.
Yes.
So likewise, when Libya's invaded, when Iraq's invaded, when Afghanistan's invaded,
Stop saying invade.
these nations
Use the word
have the right
liberate.
to self-defense.
Stop
Ahmed
saying invade. Use the right word,
Ahmed
Ishmael.
Karzai is a puppet of the West. A puppet. The Afghans don't like him.
And yet they elected the man, right?
They elected the man. What? In those elections, you call those elections?
Hey, it's
You call those elections?
Come on, Afghan style, right?
You call those elections?
Yes, Afghan style.
Mubarak had more fair elections in Egypt.
And where is he now?
Yes. Yes, he's in America. I mean, look at it. Ahmed Karzai, the president of Afghanistan. Let me ask you this question. When Ahmed Karzai retires as president of Afghanistan, do you think Ahmed Karzai is thinking, I've served my country well, let me go and buy a villa in Kabul? No! When Ahmed Karzai retires or leaves office, Ahmed Karzai is going to buy a villa in France,
You blame him?
in America,
You blame
or in Britain,
Where
but
would
he's
you
not
buy
going to
a
live in
villa?
Afghanistan.
Where would you buy a villa?
Ahmed Karzai is a puppet of the American administration.
Oh, don't say that.
He's not going to die in
Don't say
Afghanistan
that.
unless he's
You want to live
assassinated.
in Kabul? No!
Unless he's assassinated. So we have these characters. We have these characters who are propped up and foisted on the people. When will it all end? The world. That's right, Sonny. That's right, Sonny. Pull his beard. Bible, before I close the meeting, and I'm closing up now, I'm saying to you, the Iraqi people have the right to self-defense. The Afghans have the right to self-defense. There's no legitimate justification. There's no legitimate justification for America and its allies to be in Afghanistan. There's no legitimate justification for bombing Pakistan. You can always find, allow me to finish, you can always find a justification. And the reason...
And hear mine then.
Oh, please.
The right to protect this, you know.
Protect who?
The Afghans. From terror. From Taliban, from HQ.
Cairo.
From Pakistan.
Who gives the West that right? That responsibility? Who gives the West the right to say we're going to send NATO to Libya?
Hang on.
What right do they have to be in Libya?
Let me tell
what right do they have to be bombing a sovereign country? What right do they have? When you know that the chiefs, the tribal elders of Libya support the Libyan government.
That is not true.
Tell me, the Wafala tribe, tell me the name of the tribe. Who supports the rebels? Who supports the rebels?
Let me have my say. I have a right to protect the Afghans and Iraqis. Why? Because
don't they have a right to determine whether they want you to protect them or not? They don't want you nowhere near them. When you speak to Iraqis here, hands up if you're Iraqi here. You're an Iraqi?
Yes.
Hold on, Taiwo.
Yes.
Here's an Iraqi. What do you think about the American presence in your country?
He loves it. He loves it. What is your name?
What do you think?
What is your name?
Do you want America in your country?
Yes, we do.
You're not happy. Do you want America?
I'm not happy.
Please what?
Please what? I'm not happy.
He wants you and your friends out.
They need to get the fuck out.
These are Iraqis. These are Iraqis. What Iraqis do you speak for? Don't these people have families? These people are Iraqis. Their families. Their families are still there. Their relatives are still there. Their friends and associates are still there. Hands up if you are Libyan. Hands up if you're Afghani. You're Afghani. So what do you think about the Afghans? Tell him. Do you want American forces in your country?
Yes.
Well, they're really made a mess right now. Thank you. Did you hear what he said?
He says you have made your country a mess.
That's not true, sir. Where are you from? Where are you from? Why? This is Nigerian.
It's not.
Nigerian Baku. Yeah, Nigerian Baku.
It's somebody's son.
Nigerian Baku.
What a nonsense.
Hands up.
Hands up.
Biggest abuse.
We're going to close. Hands up if you're from Pakistan. Do you want America?
No,
Do you want America in your country? No. So Taiwo, who do you really speak for?
The majority, Ishmael.
Where's the majority? That's the American. I don't want them in that country.
Anti-American. There's an American.
American.
Canadian.
Come on, man.
Canadian. My friend, let me close the meeting. But by closing the meeting, let me just say that we all may not agree. We all may not come from the same point of view. But we all have the right to our opinion. And only by having these conversations, these discussions, these debates, not just here at Hyde Park, but at home with your families, with your friends, on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, in your workplace. Make sure we are having these conversations, because it is through these conversations that we become informed. It is through these conversations that we become educated. It is through these conversations we become enlightened. It is through these conversations that we have an alternative perspective to what's really happening in the world. With that, Taiwo, I bid you farewell.
What do you mean farewell?
The Nigerian Taliban.
They're going to bomb me. What do you mean farewell? Hey, don't play.
He's in disguise.
Farewell. What do you
You're
mean?
undercover.
Undercover.
I bid you farewell.
Don't say farewell. That sounds scary, man.
You've been away now for about a year and a half.
What do you mean I've been away?
But my point,
who sent me away? Who sent
and
you?
so you should be in jail.
Who sent me
He was
away?
in jail for fraud. The Nigerian 411. If you've got credit, watch your pockets, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think I
That's a crime.
probation. He's hiding his
Brian
face.
doesn't pay.
He's in probation.
They went into Africa, please, and they artificial boundaries. They were tribal, very, very good things. I'm saying, wake up to the reality. Do not keep following the illusion that is set out for you. Taiwo takes a unique position. He is a deliberate agent provocateur.
That's unfair. I love freedom, and I will always support freedom. Here, there, anywhere.
You
can see your warped point of view.
Yeah.
Your warped
I want Pakistan to be liberated.
But nonetheless,
Get out there.
nonetheless, your point of view. I want Nigeria to be liberated.
Inshallah.
And so it should be. So with that, I bid you farewell. Power to all people.
Don't go away. Don't go away. I'm here. I'm here.
Psychiatrist is here.
Hey, good to see you, Ishmael.
Nice one. How you doing? I'm good, man.
I am a psychiatrist.
It's fantastic.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be having great fun here.
Hopefully you'll have
If any ladies, please think that my speech is not very polite, may leave this place. Because I'm going